Hello and welcome back. I'm excited to have you with me along as I plan for June and Litha. Also excited that you'll get to see this video on time. Now that I'm in my newest space and a little more settled, I was able to give this setup some attention. So as I mentioned in my last video, or at least a recent video, the late spring and summer Sabbats aren't really my favorites. Just never felt a real connection to them, and I often find that when it comes time to set up for them or even think about celebrating them, I don't experience the emotions and the sensations I expect I should with them. But this time around, I am focusing on the correspondences with peonies and honeysuckle, along with the colors of blue/turquoise and yellow. So for this sort of design of these, I used the Sensei Sigma pen set, and really liked using the different weights. They are a little more extreme than the, say, Faber-Castell or Micron weight differences. Oh, and we have a visit from the kitty. And I really like the way that turned out. So, as you're seeing here, I will go through and add some texture and lines to my peonies and my honeysuckle. And I'll be back with you for the next phase. Alright, and here I'm moving on to my monthly setup. So you saw me cut off my little side page Dutch door here, and then I have a lot to ink in. So for these peonies, I just jumped straight on in with the size 10 pen for the peony, and then moved down to the 4 and the 6 for the honeysuckles. This month, my tarot card was the Page of Cups, and so my phrase to go with that is creativity, which I just kind of love that it's working out. This is the first month really this year that I've had time to be very creative, so that's just been a lovely touch. So as you're seeing, I'm trying to work my illustration and doodles so that they overlap with the Dutch door. Sometimes in the past I've also tried that under the Dutch door it would match up with a different illustration at the same time, But this time around, I wanted that space for trackers and to-do lists. As you can see here, I'm trying something a little different with my calendars this month. They're taking up the whole page, and I have this border at the top, this 2 square border. Planning to put the date there as well as the moon phase, and I'm considering whether I will also put in the weather in addition to any retrogrades or eclipses. So on the other side, I have a to-do list here, and then I have on the, see I'm inking in now my trackers. I'm doing them all as mini calendars, and I'm doing a number more than usual. Just with the move, I have some lifestyle changes, and I want to see how those are impacting things. So I'm marking all of them here, and then I write the title in the bottom right part of each calendar later. On the left page, I am doing my tarot tracker again. Hopefully, I'm going to get back into my tarot practice this month. The past few days, I've been back on track, but I do really enjoy that practice. And if you're not familiar with Elliott Oracle, it's a great place for interpretation of the cards and just a new perspective. And Adam Elliott is of Elliott Oracle, and he recently came out with a book called Fearless Tarot, which is the same information that's in his free blog post, just compiled into a book, and it's his interpretations and in-depth readings on the tarot cards. I found it really useful when I was learning the decks because he goes into the symbolism of the various images and colors in the Waite Smith deck, so it can be a useful reminder. Here I am coloring in the background. I am using fountain pen ink, actually. I'm using the Pilot irosizuku ink called Kujaku, I think that's how you pronounce it. It is potentially my favorite fountain pen ink. It's one of the only fountain pen inks that I have used half a bottle or more of. So for this part, I used just a cheap water brush pen and dipped it in the ink and then would dab it in water to get a more watercolor effect with the ink. Again, I thought this sort of turquoisey blue was just perfect for Litha. J for June with a Mildliner in this golden color, and one of my favorite Mildliners here. And you saw me swatching two markers to see which was closest to the turquoise. One is a Artist Loft water brush, or dual tipped water based pen, and the other was a Crayola Supertip. This time around, I actually grabbed a Q-tip and used it to get down the sort of outer chunky parts of my blue. I don't know, it was faster, but I do like the detailed look of the cover page where I did the fine lines first and then added in the outer. I was really disappointed I wasn't able to create the sort of faded watercolory effect here that I was able to get on the cover page. It could be because of the way I had the ink down first with the Q-tip. It's possible that, I don't know, I didn't have time to work out on my brush or something. So I ended up accidentally cutting in more of the to-do list area than I had planned to. It's okay. Also under here, I forgot to mention, you're seeing glimpses of it. That calendar on the top there has these lines associated with it. That is my cleaning calendar, the cleaning tracker for this month, and I'm trying the different symbols to represent different types of cleaning so that I can show which days I'm cleaning and which types of cleaning are done. Once I got everything in, I realized that creativity really was blending into the background. So I picked out the number 10 marker again and outlined my lettering for both creativity and to do, so they would pop a little more. Then I wanted to go back through and maybe do a highlight, but my white pens just didn't quite look right with it, so I left it as is and went from there. So once I got some of my lines erased here, I decided to make that banner at the top also a turquoisey color. So I picked the marker that was closest to it, which was the Crayola Supertip, and colored those in. As you can see here, I'm using that scrap piece of paper from what I cut off at the beginning to kind of catch the edges so that I could color all the way to the edge without accidentally coloring into creativity or something along those lines. Alright, and here I actually started inking in another drawing but lost the footage. So I realized I wanted a few more pages, so I put in some peonies and honeysuckle down at the bottom to try to leave more space at the top. These spreads will be for school dates. I am starting a new semester in June, and it's going to be an abbreviated semester, so it should be super busy. And I wanted to go ahead and have a space to write down my due dates so I didn't lose track of things. And then I wanted to pick back up with gratitude practice and have a space for that. I have so much that I have been grateful for lately. I'm just feeling super blessed and lucky and yeah, just in a great place, and want to kind of keep track of that somewhere. And of course my bullet journal seemed like the perfect place. So yeah, I went ahead and just put these in the size 10 brush to begin with. And then, of course, use my Q-tip again. It just made things go so much faster. To get in some blue around my drawing at the bottom and around the letters at the top. And that's it for my June setup. So just the final flip through with the cover page by getting colored the honeysuckle yellow, my monthly with the moon phases in gold, tracker page and to-do list with my phrase of the month, and then finally moving to my important dates and my gratitude page. From there, I'll jump into the weeklies. Thanks so much for joining me. Happy Litha. I'm blessed to be. Bye.